All right, well, welcome back to another episode of Community Capital. My name is Rob Johnson. We have another great show for you today. Joining me in studio is Chris Berry. He is the founder of Castle Wealth Group here in Brighton. Chris, welcome to the studio.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
A repeat.
Yes.
So you've been here on a different show, not necessarily the Community Capital show, but you've been here once before.
Yeah, well, I had so much fun. I wanted to make it happen again.
I'll have to make an annual recurrence.
There you go.
So Castle Wealth Group, so just walk me through at a high level, what the mission of your organization is.
Yeah, so we help good families plan, protect, and preserve what's important. What we do is we help these good families create a retirement legacy that they're proud of by helping them with their legal planning, their estate planning, financial planning, and tax planning, putting together one unified plan to help them.
Yeah, one thing that I saw when I was going over the website that I thought was really unique is there's the legal aspect of it, sure, a lawyer, and then also, the financial management side of things. And I don't know that that's a combination I've seen terribly common, is it?
No, it really is relatively unique. Even in Livingston County, I'm one of the only certified elder law attorneys as well as certified financial planners. So I started out 20 plus years ago doing estate planning, wills and trusts, and then what happened is people weren't passing away, they're continuing to age. And so I wasn't getting calls that mom or dad passed away. I was getting calls that mom or dad is going into a nursing home. Mm-hmm. So I started doing this niche area of law called elder law. So if estate planning is planning for what happens if you pass away, elder law is planning for what happens if you don't, and you continue to age and face all the issues that go along with aging. Really making sure people's money lasts as long as they do. Because right now, like a nursing home costs $10,000 to $15,000 a month, and that's going to bankrupt a family pretty darn quick. And then as part of that process, clients were approaching us about tax issues and investment issues, things like that. So we do legal, financial, and tax planning all under one roof. So it is a little bit of a unique model.
I have to imagine that gives a pretty high degree of comfort to people when they're coming in because you can handle all aspects of it and you're not just doing the financial part and handing off the legal aspect, or conversely, you're not doing the legal part and handing off the financial aspect.
Right, yeah. The nice thing and the big value add for clients is typically they have their legal person, they have their tax person, they have their financial person, and they all have kind of different recommendations, and the client's kind of sitting in the middle trying to figure out what makes the most sense. But we're putting together one unified plan that covers their income planning, their investment planning, their tax planning, their long-term care planning, their estate planning, all under one roof. And then God forbid something happens, the family just has one stop versus having to go to all these different areas. And then another thing, I was just having a conversation with some clients. We're just doing their legal planning, but their financial planner was recommending something that was completely against the overall plan, and it creates confusion for them. Yeah. And so our goal is really to create plans where clients are comfortable, clear, and confident with everything that they're doing.
How much of that conflict do you find where you're handling an aspect of somebody's portfolio, whether it's on the legal side or financial side, and then there's a couple of third parties that are doing the exact opposite of what you'd want?
Well, yeah, and that's where one of the things that was very important to me, because I think everyone deals with this like imposter syndrome of like you think you kind of know, but you don't really know. So that's why it was so important for me to get what's called a certified elder law attorney designation, a CELA designation, which is the gold standard as it relates to estate planning and elder law. Like any attorney can say they do estate planning or elder law, but to become a CELA, you have to pass a 6-hour exam. And of the attorneys that take the exam, only about 15 to 20% pass on a regular basis. So that gave me the confidence to know I know what I'm talking about when it comes to like estate planning and elder law. And then similarly, I'm also what's called a certified financial planner, a CFP, which is the gold standard as it relates to financial, retirement, and tax planning. It's like the top designations that you can have. So when I was just an attorney, I got tired of trying to have a battle with the client's financial advisor who really maybe they're only trying to sell them an annuity or insurance or something, but they're telling them one thing, but I know based on like my deep level of knowledge in this area that like they're telling them the wrong thing. Yeah. And then we get on a conference call, I explain it, and they're like, oh yeah, you're right. So, and it's so frustrating for me because at the end of the day, we want to create peace of mind for our clients. And if someone's telling them wrong information because they don't have see the whole picture, then it just creates confusion for the clients. And at the end of the day, we want our clients clear, comfortable, and confident with what they're doing.
Yeah, and that's something that I always encourage people to think about, because there are a lot of people that operate as financial consultants who aren't fiduciaries,
Right.
and their main plan is to sell you the highest commission annuity that typically has the lowest rate of return on the market.
Right.
In an effort to make it look like, well, it's a consistent return.
Right.
It's like, well, I'm not spending all my money this year, so I don't necessarily need a consistent return. I want the best one averaged over period of time. And if you don't know that, like you're highly susceptible to getting taken advantage of.
Right. Yeah. Even as when I was just doing legal work, a lot of my referrals would come from financial investment guys, and I knew probably 200 investment guys, and I'd see good planning and I'd see bad planning, and it was just all over the board. And that was one of the reasons we wanted to get into this. And then also, you're right, there's a lot of people that they say they're an advisor, but they don't have any fiduciary responsibility to clients. Like, people ask if we're a fiduciary, and I'm like, we're a super fiduciary. My financial license, I have to be a fiduciary as Series 65. B, as a CFP, I have to be a fiduciary. And then C, I'm an attorney. So I always owe my clients attorney-client privilege.
Yeah. And when you have that many different aspects of somebody's, life under advisement, there is an ethical standard there as well, that runs through all three of those levels. So
right. And these are some of the most important decisions that clients will, or people will ever make during their life. You only have kind of one chance to retire correctly. You only have one chance to set up your estate plan correctly. Yeah. And so I see some family, even I remember I took my kids to Disney World, my family, my parents and my kids, and I called them into my office and conference room, and we spent probably 5 hours mapping out where we're going to Disney and which rides we're going to attend, which parks and stuff like that. And I think sometimes people spend more time planning for a vacation than they do thinking about planning for their retirement or their estate plan.
For sure. I would imagine that, there's probably a near countless amount of stories where people come in and they're like, damn, I wish I would have done this earlier, because now I have this. I'm calling you because of an issue. It's not preventative.
Yeah, especially on the elder law side. So elder law is trying to plan for long-term care, and the big thing is nursing home costs, which can run $10,000 to $15,000 a month. And 1 out of 2 individuals will set foot in a nursing home, and the average stay in a nursing home is about 2.5 years. And if it's costing $10,000 to $15,000 a month, the question is, how do you go about paying for that? And that's where we do have a program called Medicaid, which can pay for nursing home care, but it has a 5-year look-back period and an asset test. So one of the things we can do is we can set up an asset protection trust, move assets into the trust, kind of structure things properly, but Medicaid has a 5-year look-back period. So there's been so many calls where I get a call from a family to say, mom or dad has Alzheimer's, going into a nursing home. We want to make sure he gets the best care possible, but we want to make sure the other parent, the spouse, isn't completely impoverished. And unfortunately, one of the things I have to say is, hey, if we would have sat down 3 years earlier, we would have had so many better options available.
Yeah. No, I think that's something that as much awareness as we can get for people to start as early as possible. It's such a value. So I want to know about your vision for the company. So you've been doing this a little bit over 20 years now. So what does the next 5 years look like for you? Where are you hoping to grow Castle to?
Sure. Yeah. So we started in Bloomfield Hills about 20 years ago. I was living in Novi, driving out to Bloomfield Hills every day. That drive wasn't too bad. But that's where we started the practice. It grew. I ended up moving out to Brighton about 15 years ago, and that's when we moved our main office from Bloomfield Hills to Brighton. Just because driving from Brighton to Bloomfield Hills every day, that was horrible. That was bad. So we moved the main office to Brighton. So now we're in Brighton on Grand River and Hilton. We just signed a 10-year lease. We expanded our space. So we're looking to grow. We're looking to bring on more team members to better help our clients. One of the things that we do for the community is we do educational classes. We do about 6 to 9 educational classes in one of the different locations. Our main office is in Brighton, but we do have satellite offices in Ann Arbor, Bloomfield Hills, Lansing, Novi, Livonia. So we do these educational classes. So we just want to help more families because we think that having this legal financial tax planning, all working for the client, not trying to sell annuities or anything like that, but putting unified plans together. Because most of our clients, they had an investment guy or something, or they had an old estate plan. So we call it, we're trying to rescue more families to put together this great planning for them, planning that they're proud of, planning so that it's a retirement they're proud of, a legacy they're proud of. And the only way that they can do that is by making the right choices. And we want to guide our clients to help them make the right choices.
So when you look at the kind of a best practice about where to start, what does that look like for someone who's listening to this and they want to get rolling?
Yeah, probably one of the best ways to start is just to attend one of our educational workshops. And we do these at libraries. I think we have one coming up at the Brighton Library shortly. We have some coming up at Clear University in Howell, as well as some other locations. We've done some recently in Heartland at the Cromaine Library. But if you go to our website, michiganestateplanning.com, it has a list of our upcoming workshops. And that's one of the best ways to start. My dad was a professor for 47 years. And so that kind of teaching gene is kind of passed down to me. So really, it's almost like a college class. We're not buying anyone steak dinners and trying to like incentivize them to like sit down with us. We're just giving education. Yeah. The other thing we do is we do a webinar every Wednesday at 1:00. We call it our weekly wisdom webinar, where I just log in and answer questions people have submitted. We're big at Castle Wealth Group. We're big believers in education. So we like to start with education. And then if you're ready, raise your hand. Let's set up a time to talk.
Great.
Yep.
I love that. Anything else the listeners should know before we wrap up today?
Just the last thing, in terms of the community, one of the things we support, especially from an elder law standpoint, is the Alzheimer's Association. So the Walk to End Alzheimer's is coming up in October. We've been supporting this and help organizing this for the last 15 years. Last year for the Livingston County Walk to End Alzheimer's, we had the biggest team. So we're always looking support for the Alzheimer's Association. Alzheimer's and dementia is something that's affected my family. Affected a lot of our clients as well. And so it's something that's near and dear to our heart. So that is something that we'd ask, hey, if you're looking to support a cause, we'd really like to support the Alzheimer's Association.
Yeah, it's a great cause. I've been a part of the walk for many years.
Yeah.
So it's an absolute fantastic organization. Yep. So always glad to talk about them.
Yep.
So Chris, certainly appreciate your time. Thanks for walking me through it all. Anything else we should know?
No, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, very good. Thank you.
All right.
All right, everybody, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of Community Capital. If you want to learn more about the Castle Wealth Group, you can take a look at our show notes, website, and all their information will be there. Apart from that, we'll catch you next week with a new episode. Take care.